Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Chips and Talk. Grab a snack. This is episode 60. Can you believe that? 60 episodes. That means 60 weeks of doing this nonsense. Thank you for joining me today, whether it's on YouTube, superjesusjackson, or you're on the Spotify's, or Apple Music's. Not on Google yet. That is a running joke on this podcast, and I'm probably never going to be on Google Podcasts. Get a Spotify or Apple Music. Get one of those. Or go on YouTube where you get the video version of the podcast, and it's just a much better experience, in my opinion. But of course, what we do here is we get some snacks, sometimes no snack at all, preferably chips, and then we talk. We pick a random topic on the internet, or I talk about what I've been up to, in which case I'm going to start with what I've been up to. Still trying to beat God of War Ragnarok. Oh my God, that game is long. And it doesn't help that I play like 2 hours a day, or like not even. Sometimes I go, like several days without playing at all. So it's definitely super slow. But I'm almost there. I feel it, but it's just, my God, it's crazy. What else is up with my life? So far everything's good. It's a 3-day weekend. It's currently Saturday, February 18th, 3:28 p.m. So we're doing okay. But it could be better, as in, hopefully, we didn't have to work for the rest of our lives. But because I'm depressed, I decided to go with some Lay's sour cream and onion. That's right. That looks like the thumbnail. Also, I did my nails. I think I already said this. Yeah, because last episode I had my nails done. So how are we doing here on the light? I might have to bring up the light a little bit. I might do that just to give some more love in the video. There it is. Does that look better? Yeah, fuck it, whatever. It's whatever. It looks like crap anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Lay's sour cream and onion. One of the inferior Lay's flavors. And what I mean by that is exactly what I mean by that. Barbecue Lay's taste, I think, superior to these. I love the Flamin' Hot Lay's, but that's because I'm a spicy guy. But these are solid. These are really good. I think I prefer the Ruffles version of sour cream and onion, but whatever. I love it. These were already open, of course. You get more of the sour cream than you do the onion. And I think that's why it's tolerable. If you were to get it the other way around, that'd be kind of gross. But the onion's still there for sure. It's really part of the aftertaste. Let me see if I can show you a piece of chip here. Damn it, I'm trying to get a big one. I don't know. That's not big enough. Fuck it, whatever. Yeah, it looks kind of like shit. You can't really see it. It's too bright, but it's really solid. That thing that people do where they're eating like the last remaining pieces of chips, and they do that thing where they fold the bag and then they fucking do the mouth thing. Like so. That's a very good technique. I got like about 95% of it. And there it is. Oh, a little bit more. I'm OCD with food. That's pretty good. Looks solid. There we go. You see that? That's the thumbnail right there. Okay. Oh. Good thing I have a napkin. I have water. You know, I was watching a little bit of my previous video, a little bit of that Hogwarts Legacy, or the where I pick my Hogwarts house, and I was eating chips and I lick my fingers and I'm like, God damn it! Like, I'm doing that in public. It's crazy. Oh, come on. That's the only weird thing about getting the nails is, you know, you're super like, ooh, don't touch them. Ooh, I can't rub them too hard and all this crap. But, you know, you gotta look good. Life's too short not to paint your nails and to gel it up and do whatever the hell you do. Now, the pedicure, I don't really care that much. I think it's because, you know, I don't really wear sandals. I'm not like that guy, you know. So, I like my shoes. But whatever I'm showing off, I like to, you know, pimp it out a little bit. Oh yeah, that's really good. Water is really good. But let's pick a random topic here. Let's go back a little bit to the tradition of Chips and Talk, shall we? What was the last book you read? I don't know if I've talked about this before. I don't know if I have. Have I? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I have. But the last book that I read was called Tyler Merritt. It wasn't called Tyler Merritt. It was I Take My Coffee Black. And it was basically I don't know what it would be called, a memoir, I guess, of Tyler Merritt. This is he was a guy that went viral on YouTube and on social media everywhere during 2020. During the Black Lives Matter protests, or it was like way beforehand, around 2016, around 2017. I think that sounds right. But he garnered like millions of views, and he did this like poem that was based around. I mean, I guess I don't know if it wasn't really a poem. It was more just like, you know, like a slam poetry, but without rhyming, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. It's weird to describe. It was sort of a monologue, but it was him describing himself. He lived in Tennessee at the time. I think he still lives there. But he had a very unfortunate incident with a white woman. And it was basically, he was walking down the street, minding his own business, listening to his music. He had his hoodie on or whatever. He was doing his just daily walk, you know? And then, I mean, I don't really want to spoil a lot of it. I'd rather you look it up because he says it in a much more interesting way. But this woman, just like, he was crossing the street right in front of him. She was at the stoplight and she freaked the hell out and she rolled up her window and shit. And he saw that reaction, the reaction that woman had towards him. And, you know, it was because he was black, right? And obviously there are other external factors, you know, but once he did that, he kind of told the world that story. I mean, it went super viral. And then he did some stuff after that went really viral. He's also been in movies, and stuff like that. So he's doing great, and I think he's even been on TV as well. But he came out with this book around 2021 or 2020. I'm not sure. It's been a while. But I think it was 2021. Yeah. God, I am such a mess today. I'm so sorry if you're so frustrated with, you know, I think it was this. Oh, I think it was that. God damn it. It would annoy the hell out of me, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it's a memoir, and that's the first chapter of his book, so I'm sorry for spoiling it. But the actual story itself, I just kind of summarized it, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even summarize it. I did the Cliff Notes version. That's what it was. So really, I didn't really spoil anything. It's much more interesting once you listen to him talk about it, and once you read his book. But I read his book. I just thought his story was super interesting. And he was he was in my town when he was promoting this book. And so I got to meet him and stuff, and I got a copy of his book, and and I read it all the way through, and I got to talk to him as well afterwards, and it's just phenomenal. It's great. He is a wonderful person, just super open-minded, and he's a fascinating guy. And really, without spoiling it, the premise of his book really is about proximity. The idea that, it doesn't matter the differences that we have as a people, whether it's race, class, gender, whatever, right? If we decide to talk to each other and we decide to close that gap, because it's easy for human beings to have distance between one another, right? Especially with people that are different than us, especially people that are in circumstances that are different than us. But he says once we come together, once we have that cup of coffee together, we sit down, have a chat, that gap can close. And that's what proximity does. And it's a brilliant idea. And of course it's not necessarily new, but the way that he approached it was very sincere, and obviously it was from a personal experience. And and he used to be a musician as well. And his book just tells so many crazy stories about his life and how he's a very flawed human being. I mean, he comes super honest in that book, and that is insane. You guys think I'm honest? That guy has said some stuff that even I would be like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to write this down for the whole world to read. I probably would, but he's done it, and it's awesome. It's just great. So yeah, it's called I Take My Coffee Black. I think, let me see. Let me look at the legit title here for you. There it is. I Take My Coffee Black, Reflections on Tupac. Where is it? God damn it. Reflections on Tupac, musical theater, faith, and being black in America. Yeah. And it has a foreword by Jimmy Kimmel. It came out on September 14th, 2021. So as a 6'2" dreadlocked black man, Tyler Merritt knows what it feels like to be stereotyped as threatening, which can have dangerous consequences. But he also knows that proximity to people who are different from ourselves can be a cure for racism. Tyler Merritt's video, Before You Call the Cops, has been viewed millions of times. Yeah, that's the video. I'm sorry. So it wasn't really his retelling of that story that I just said. It was really the Before You Call the Cops video. And that was beautiful. And that was very much it was inspired from police brutality. And just, his experiences with racism. And he also recently came out with a children's book called A Door Made for Me, which is very nice. And that's a reference to a story that he says in the book. That is a very nice, way to tie that children's theme together, because that story is very much when he was a child. So great stuff, really fantastic. I clearly I don't know how to speak, so thank you for listening to me. But yeah, it's been a while, so my memory's a little hazy with stuff, but here we go. Another random topic. Do you experience phantom vibration, feeling your phone vibrate even though it didn't? I think I've done this topic before. This is the problem with using a website, the same website over and over again, because you'd think it would use some sort of, AI at this point. It would be fucking smarter than this, and it would definitely use, a variety of topics instead of recycling every now and then the same topic. But, yeah. Did I talk about the Tyler Merritt book enough? I don't know if I did. Did I? God, I don't know. I said it was a really good book, right? Yeah, go buy it, read it. God, I feel like I didn't talk about the book enough, because the question was very much, what's the last book you read? And then, hey, go into depth with the book that you just, mentioned. But I can't necessarily, because I don't want to spoil, but, no, I did talk. What the, God, what's going on? What am I on? I don't know. God only knows. Next topic. What's the best thing about traveling? How about okay, never mind. We're done with this website. Okay, we are done. We have we have recycled through so many of these topics that at this point I've done all of them. I'm pretty sure. So it's time to find a different website. Random topic generator. The Story Shack. Let's do that. Oh, I've used this one before. It's not that interesting. Society. Let's do it. Oh. God, Jesus, these are very general topics. It's like mood disorders, earthquake, big science, coins. My God, I don't know if I want this. This is not okay. Random topic generator online. All right, marionettes, tennis, newspapers, cheese, mummies, gypsies. I don't know if that's the right word anymore for them, for that community. Isn't it like Roma people now, I believe? Cigarettes, elephants, ostriches, stadiums. God, this is so awful. Generate 5 topics. Oh, here it is. If you could learn the answer to one question about your future, what would the question be? Yeah, I've done that. Dance. My girlfriend does dance. Hurrah. What was your first smartphone? Oh, God. I feel like they've definitely... This website definitely uses a lot of the topics that the other website does. Maybe that website steals from this website. Jesus Christ. You know what? Screw it. Let's talk about loneliness. Loneliness is the easiest thing you can do as a person. Now, granted, it varies, of course. Everyone's different. Everyone knows this. I mean, I'm speaking really generally. It's not like I'm bringing up any science. But I think from a very strong anecdotal perspective, I think that loneliness is much easier than people think. It's a very, very attractive thing for someone. Because being lonely, you don't have to deal with someone. You don't have to ask permission for anyone. And a lot of you actually might be asking right now, why did you even bring up this topic? Well, I guess, we're a little bit close to, we are now over Valentine's Day. It's the 18th of February, but I think I read that like a British person. They read the date kind of backwards. But anyways, or it's backwards to us Americans, of course. To them, it makes sense. But yeah, given that we're a little close, with Valentine's Day, by close, I mean that we're ahead of Valentine's Day. And February is the month of love and whatnot, and relationships are always relevant. To be alone is very enticing, obviously, to me, but I think to many people. And I think it's in our nature to try to find someone, right? But most of the time we realize that trying to be with someone is very difficult. Like that's very much a thing, right? It's not easy to be with someone because it's hard to be with yourself. Now imagine you double that and you increase the body. God, some of the stuff that I say is ridiculous. But it's very difficult to be with someone, thus it's easier to be alone. Because like I said, you don't need permission for anything. You just do your thing. There's no order to anything. You don't have to figure out any plans with anyone else. And putting another head in the room just complicates things, like just kind of by nature. But I that doesn't mean that, we just all, go back into our turtle shells. And there's a place for everything, of course. I think that there is a time to be alone. There's a time to be with someone else. And I think even when you're with someone, there's times you got to be alone, even when you are with someone, right? But I think that being alone is something that I personally am afraid of at all times, but it's something that I very much try to be a part of all the time. And it's weird. I'm in a relationship right now, but relationships are hard. And I'm not saying this because I'm having a tough time with my girlfriend right now. That's not the case at all. It's just because as a person, and I think, I think if anyone doesn't deal with this, props to you. You're amazing. You're fascinating. You deserve all the Grammys in the world, all the awards in the world. You deserve to just go to heaven and everything's fine and amazing. And my God, I wish I could be you. But I don't think so. I think everyone has problems with relationships. I think that's natural, right? Like I said, once you introduce someone else to the equation, it only gets harder. So, but that's the thing, is life is all a test, right? Life is all about temptation. Life is all about making it as unbearable as it possibly can for you. But you got to overcome it. You got to push through, right? And it's easy to be alone. It's easy. Once you are in a relationship, I think from a personal standpoint, I'm reaching 3 years at this point. It's very enticing to be alone, because I'm the type of person where a problem comes and it very much it annoys the hell out of me. It frustrates me. And so the immediate reaction to me is like, oh my God, I just got to leave everything. I got to be alone. I got to focus on just myself, and I got to avoid everything. And this is from not only from, a romantic standpoint, but from a familial standpoint as well. It's like, it's very comforting to be alone because you don't have to argue with anyone, but that's the thing, is that you're just avoiding the difficulty. You're avoiding the challenge because it's easier to be complacent and to just go by in life without any challenge. And it's a shame. And like I said, I'm not saying that being alone is bad. Like I said, I think there are times, even when you're with someone, that it's necessary. But also, you don't want to go too much. It's like that Tool song. It's called Schism, which is a perfect song that very much relates to what I'm talking about. But schism, I believe what it means is, people who are on two opposite ends of the spectrum and they're trying to come together. I might be completely wrong with that, but I'm probably completely right with that as well. So let me look it up. It didn't make any sense at all, but hey. Sort of a split or division between strongly opposed sections or parties. There it is, caused by differences in opinion or belief. There it is. So it's very much when two, people are trying to come together, but that schism is created between them. So I was right, but also not right. But that's what a relationship is most of the time, and I think any good relationship is two people that are different enough, but are similar enough, right? It has to be like a yin and yang, where, whether you're black or white, right? You have a tiny bit of black in that person and they have a tiny bit of white in you, And obviously there's much more nuance to that, and sometimes it's more black than white and all this. But ultimately, that's what you want to do, is a yin and yang, and you want it to be a balance, right? But when you're alone, there's no yin and yang. There's just a yin, or just a yang, And so there's less conflict, but conflict breeds resolution, and resolution breeds growth and lessons and evolution. And being alone doesn't really do any of that to the extreme that it needs to. Like, I think that, sometimes it is necessary to be alone and do the things that you need to do and whatnot. Yes, but I think probably the best way to grow in life is to challenge yourself to be with someone. I do believe that. And as a society, I think we're very much glamorizing, we're praising the idea of being alone. And I think that's fine. I mean, for the better part of centuries, we very much glorified the idea of being in a family and being together and all this and romance. And so it makes sense, from the 70s and on, that we've decided to kind of be like, well, no, let's focus on ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Let's do all that. But personally for me, I find reasons to love myself, and I find reasons to love in general when I'm with someone, when I challenge myself with someone. And this is coming from a person that wants to do the opposite. a lot of the times when there's a challenge in front of me, when I am arguing with my significant other, when I'm arguing with my family, I very much want to dip. I want to leave. I want it to be done. And that's normal. I know that, and look, and there's plenty of people like me, but there's also plenty of people who don't, who very much are like, no, dude, like I have no urge to leave. I am going to continue fighting. And I wish I had more of that in me. I do. I mean, I'm still doing, I think, what the right thing is for me. But, you know, I'm very much a coward, like a lot of the times. And look, I wouldn't say I'm a coward. I deal with it, but after I deal with it, or while I'm dealing with it, I'm like, why do I continue to deal with this? You know, I should dip, I should leave, you know, and whatever that means. So it's interesting, but for me, and I think for many people, I'm gonna say this out there, you know, I think it's being alone is very enticing, but that's not where growth is. And again, I'm not saying that, you know, oh my God, you just broke up with your significant other, stop being alone, find someone else immediately. No, definitely not. I think that when that happens, it's very important for you to take some time for yourself, maybe even have a phase where you just go with so many people, you know, like that's normal. Like that's normal. Obviously, don't overdo it, and don't do it as quickly as, you know, once you break up with someone, boom, 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 you know, you gotta do it, you know. But I may be completely wrong. Everyone has their way of going about life. Some people don't like that idea of being with one person or trying to, you know, create that relationship. Some people, and like I said, I think there are phases in life. Unfortunately, I never had the phase where it's this funny thing, you know, before I got into a relationship, I was, you know, I was talking to girls or whatnot, but I was never that womanizer guy. I never did that, right? And I pursued that like perfect relationship when I was alone. And then when I got with someone, I'm very much like, oh, well, and now I want to go do this and this and this, you know what I mean? And so I'm very contradicting like that, right? But that's me, of course. But I am in the relationship. I have the best person that I've ever met. But I am very much still dealing with all these things. And I think that's okay, you know? So, you know, I shouldn't feel ashamed of expressing these things. I don't, you know, like Tyler Merritt, I guess. You know what? I think Tyler Merritt very much inspired me to do this. This is my way of doing it. Right. But I think it's a completely normal thing. I think it's like when there's people, I'm not going to say who, you know, on what side or the other, but I think there's people that, you know, say like, oh, you know, you can't have any thoughts once you're with someone. You can't have any thoughts of leaving or any thoughts of lust or whatever. Like you just got to focus wholeheartedly on that person. And that's perfect. And I wish I could do that, but that's not reality. Like everyone has thoughts, you know, like, and thoughts can be bad, thoughts can be good. And I'm not saying we should embrace the bad, but like, I don't know, I'm a creative person. I find that my art, in all the ways that I do it, whether it's music, video creation, or even podcasting, comes from my pains, comes from my sufferings, comes from my joys, comes from so many different things. It comes from my flaws. And so, you know, here I mean, I'm just expressing my opinion here, but it's a way for me to express all the things that make me me, you know, whether it's my flaws or whether it's my strengths, right? And I think that a lot of people do that too. So I don't even know where I was going with this, but God. But yeah, I mean, just I think as an important takeaway, and you know, you could take it or leave it, really, honestly, because like I said, everyone has different ways of growing. I just believe that the best way to do it is to clash with someone else, is to just kind of blacksmith it out. You know what I mean? Like that to me is where the best growth is. It's because it allows for one's ego to be put down when it needs to be put down. You know, there's a good balance. You know, when you're going too far, you get told that you're going too far. You know, when you're alone, no one's there to tell you whether you're going too far or you're making a bad choice, you know, or you're being stupid. Like, you know, it's easy easier to be alone. There's less stuff to deal with. There's less things that are in your way. When you join forces with someone, and again, this is not only just romantic, it is with family as well. And coming from a person that's not a family person at all, but I very much aspire to eventually, when I do have kids, if I do have kids, I guess, just speaking from complete fact, whenever I do have kids, if I do ever have kids, I would like to have a great relationship with them. I would like to, because I see it right now. I'm telling you right now, I am a person that just, when there's conflict, it makes me bail out. It does. And call me a coward, call me all those things, man. And if you're a person that faces challenge and you're like, hell yes, then all the power to you. And I recently heard John Mayer talk about how he said if there's anything he's horny for, it's conflict resolution. That's what he's horny about. And I'm like, God damn it, that's an evolution right there, man. And some people like drama. Some people like the tension. I like tension. I do. Even though I just said it makes me leave. But I like tension, but I like, in a way, I like controlled tension, which just sounds kind of really bad. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not even going to try to, because it could easily go into weird subjects. But when I feel like real tension, when I feel like something is really at stake here, that's when it starts getting iffy, and I start really worrying about the status of something, and it really makes me. It makes me just be like, maybe we should end this, whatever it may be, whether it's with family, romantic, friendship, whatever. And so it sucks. And this is something that happens with me as a person. Like, let's say I'm reading a book and I'm not really feeling it, or there's something that really turns me off in the book from the very first 10 pages. I'm like, that's it. I got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very much a thing with video games, especially as well. So it's a thing that's maybe it's just me. Maybe it is just me. But for anyone out there that understands me, let's continue to try. Let's continue to boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know what the hell that was. But keep fighting. Keep fighting, because the very thing that you're afraid of, the very thing that's hard, is the thing that will bring you the most reward. That's the truth. So, there's phases for everything, so do what you got to do what feels right, but most importantly, do what is right. So, whatever that means to you. So, listen to your consciousness, Pinocchios out there. But God, wow, I really went deep on this one, didn't I? I very much did. But anyways, that's it for me. This was episode 60 of Chips and Talk. Grab a snack, let's chat. Thanks so much for listening. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you're at the gym, I hope you're having a great workout. If you're existing, I hope you're existing really well. But that's it for me. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And until next time, I love you.